Well, this is it. The final video before I move out of this house. Kind of. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be the actual final video, but for the most part, this will be the last video until later that I'm in this house that I upload on to this channel. AKA, we're getting ready to move, and today I've been meaning to do this video for a while, but things have been hectic. Today, I wanted to give an update on where the channel will be moving forward after this move. And of course, the other things. Just give a little bit of an update, to say the least, on the current schedule and stuff. So, as you guys know, about 2 weeks ago, I just got informed that we'll be moving out of this apartment, and I already explained the reasons why. And, of course, this upcoming week will be the move-in week. And more specifically, I'll be moving on Wednesday. Which is kind of funny because that would also mean I'll be moving in July again. Because a little bit difference being just an early July. And honestly, I do not know how the move is going to go out or go through for the most part. But I am going to go ahead and just say that throughout the next week, even though I will still be online, I might post a lot, a little bit. I won't be doing anything super big. However, because of that, there are some general updates I do need to give out real quick before we do get settled in a new apartment, and of course to explain what could be happening later on. So first off and foremost, other than One Pacific channel, both this channel and, of course, the other one, even though it doesn't get that much uploads, will not gain any uploads until later after the move. And I'll single when I'll start truly uploading again once I do like a similar thing I did last time when we moved and show a tour of the house, to say the least. Or the apartment. It's kind of a both scenario, is an apartment house sort of thing, which is way more nice, honestly. But yeah, it will take a very long time for me to upload because I gotta get everything settled. And even then, there's some situations we gotta figure out, like what's gonna happen with the internet, because we need internet to upload and all that gobbledygook. We have to figure out what stuff that is needed. But there are some other things I do want to point out that does need to be addressed too. One of the channels that won't be truly affected is the Gear Day channel, but that's only because I have tons of other uploads that I gotta upload. In fact, later on I have to upload some stuff with that, and that's just gameplay, so I'll be good with Gear Day. The only exception is, for those who are wondering, Cross's Adventures Part 2 of that episode will be kind of delayed, but it will still be on the month of August. It just won't be early like I've been trying to do. Though then again, not every episode has been early, to say the least. I will say I have worked on it a little bit, but of course I originally planned to have it actually play out literally kind of like next week, honestly, and I still might be able to get it done next week. But the reason why I screwed up was because I accidentally already packed up my 3DS and a bunch of other stuff that I need to, make the video. So, yeah, I pretty much screwed myself over with that one. But, of course, it will have to come next month. I originally wanted it to be this month, too, but it just failed completely with the movement. Again, this movement came out absolutely fucking nowhere. And now we're just getting ready to get moved out as fast as we can, apparently, because originally I thought it was going to be exactly next month, but now it's going to be next week. Granted, it's close to next month, but holy crap. They're literally trying to kick us out of this apartment complex, which, again, I already explained why, but whatever. So, there will be a delay, but rest assured, I will work on the next episode once I get settled into the new apartment. So there will be a huge delay of that, but it will come out next month for sure. Um, Speaking of which, another thing I do want to say that will be somewhat delayed, but also sort of a new update is yes, I have finally gotten back. Like I said, I posted this way back, but I have finally getting back to doing fan fiction writing again. I did the whole jizz over on comment sections. Well, not comment sections, or postings. I meant, but yeah, I have finally decided to come back with fan fictions. Of course, my main goal and my decision is I'm just going to just ignore the comment sections from now on. And of course, I have finally somewhat figure out how to use AO3, aka Archive Our Own. And rest assured, this is definitely going to be a very interesting new move, to say the least. I'm still going to use fanfiction.net, but I'm mostly going to try to focus more so on archive.org, try to move all my old stuff on there, and I will continue on making new chapters, to say the least. In fact, I'm already making new chapters of some of my fan fictions. And starting today, after I release this video, a new link for the bios, at least for these videos, if you want to check it out, will be linked in the description. Of course, just to clarify, you can also just search me up on freaking, websites. You already know it's under the usual Foxcat name. But yeah, I have, of course, decided to come back. And I do apologize. I know this sounds weird and hypocritical and all that after what I said. But I think the solution, and this is something I'm going to start doing from now on too, the solution is I'm going to have to literally take super duper long breaks in between because of the situation, because the person who harassed me is still harassing me. So, but I don't want to, like I said, and that's the reason why I felt so upset of my original decision. I did not want him to quit fanfiction writing, but if it's gets too much, I'm gonna have to take a break from it and all that. And this person does not give a damn. They do not give a rat damn, to say the least. But at the same time, I don't want them to try to take control over my life and anything. They all know about the situation. I already said this in the post, but I'll say it again. I do apologize. I don't mean to drama dump this situation. But when a person, and I'm not trying to make an excuse, but to my opinion, if a person is threatening your life, then yeah, it's no longer drama dumping, to my opinion. It's more like a cry for help, but I don't know. I do apologize still for that because, I don't mean to get anyone upset or anything. It's just with the situation of me literally getting harassed to death over a stupid fan fiction. That is a pretty big deal and a problem, to say the least. But I am coming back to it. I have also started to move to archive.org a little bit. Keyword a little bit, because I still don't know how it's going to kind of function a little bit, because there is still that whole thing about how I save documents on there. But at this point, I think many people are more just happy I am doing it because of what's going on with fanfiction.net in general, not just with the blocking scenario. But yes, that is a new profile I do have. And yeah, really, real talk, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's also the fact that I do got to do a lot of video game reviews, but that might take a while. I know I promised to do so, but, with current situations, I'm still talking about video games now, but, But still, that's pretty much it. So, yeah, and yeah, this is going to be the final time for this apartment. Honestly, I'm really, really, really am sad about it because, like I said, I am going to miss this apartment. However, I am super nervous. I am still sort of content on moving because there are a lot of problems, to say the least, with this apartment. And again, the real reason why we're being moved out is bullshit to the point where it sort of makes sense of us thankfully getting another apartment and hopefully getting better. Again, it's a little bit complex. The only thing I will say, it's at least thankfully similar to Premier Court, the original place I used to be. You know, where like the very first apartment I own. You know, the longest one I've been through when I did those videos. You know, that era of crap I used to post. Honestly, um, it's gonna be similar because this time around it is gonna be owned by the assisted living I live in. Blah blah. Blah. But still, it's a bit of a complicated situation, honestly. And again, I do not know how it's going to be. It's going to be a very huge couple of months for me to, get used to it, especially considering that I'm moving during a time where I'm finally starting to get back to work, and it's just like chaotic in some cases, honestly. But to my opinion, I think I'll be fine. I mean, when I first moved into this apartment, I was also a bit but afterwards, it just felt right in all honesty. And this apartment is going to be similar in that style. On the flip side, at least the internet will be much more free because we got the internet jammed into a freaking closet. My only hope is history don't repeat itself and the internet goes bye-bye with a hurricane. That's all I'm going to say. That's like the only utter true thing I remember when we first moved in. That whole hurricane crap. I even did a video of me going into fucking Charter, obviously, to try to get some stuff situation, but yeah. But anyways, this has been Floxcat, and this is the final video of me, doing this video. I don't know what's the future is going to hold as well when we move out. I don't know what my place is going to look like when we start doing these videos. I may have to buy a new phone stand because I don't know if this old one is going to work out. But yeah, it's pretty much over. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to go ahead and get ready because I got a busy day of, going around the neighborhood one last time. That is the plan. But anyways, this is the Foxcat, snapping out here, and bye-bye.